Imagine this. You're rushing through your morning routine in your tiny NYC apartment and you absent-mindedly toss a flushable wipe down the toilet. Boom. Next thing you know, your whole building's dealing with a nasty sewer backup, and you're staring at a fine that could hit $10,000. Scary, right? That's exactly what happens to tons of people here every year, and it's all because of some super weird rules about what you can and can't send down the drain. Okay, so let's back up a second. If you're new to the city, renting a place, running a small shop, or handling properties, these drainage laws might seem like no big deal until they bite you hard. I'm talking about the stuff that seems harmless but turns into massive problems underground. NYC's got this huge network of pipes and sewers, over 7,500 miles of them, that handle about 1.3 billion gallons of wastewater every single day. That's like filling up Yankee Stadium with dirty water hundreds of times over. And when people ignore the rules, it leads to clogs, floods, and repair bills that nobody wants. Today, we're diving into the strangest ones, the ones that catch even longtime New Yorkers off guard, with real examples of how they go wrong and how to stay safe. Stick around, because by the end, you'll know exactly how to avoid turning your sink or toilet into a ticket to bankruptcy. The big issue here is that most folks don't realize how easy it is to mess up. You move to NYC from somewhere else, maybe a smaller town where the plumbing's more forgiving, and you keep doing what you've always done, like pouring leftover cooking oil from frying up some chicken down the kitchen sink because it seems quicker than dealing with it, or flushing those baby wipes after cleaning up a mess, thinking the label says it's okay. But in this city, with its old pipes and massive population, over 8 million people all sharing the same system, these little habits add up fast. One person's grease joins with another's wipes, and suddenly you've got backups that flood basements, close streets, and rack up millions in fixes. And the fines? They're no joke. The city hits you with penalties starting at $250 for a first offense, but they can climb to $10,000 or more per violation, especially if you're a business. I've heard stories of restaurants getting slapped with that max fine just for dumping oil wrong once too often. It's not just money. Sometimes it comes with jail time up to 30 days if it's bad enough. The challenge is staying ahead of these hidden traps, especially the obscure ones that aren't obvious, like why you can't flush certain meds or why pet waste on the sidewalk is a drainage no-no. If you're a small business owner slinging food, a renter in a walk-up, or someone new to the chaos of city living, ignoring this stuff could cost you your savings or even your spot in the building. Now, let's get into the meat of it, exploring all these weird rules one by one. We'll start with the basics and build up to the really odd ones, with tips on what to do instead so you don't end up in hot water. First off, the golden rule from the NYC Department of Environmental Protection, or DEEP as everyone calls them: flush only the 4 P's. That's poop, pee, puke, and toilet paper. Yeah, puke made the list because, well, sometimes life happens and it's better than letting it sit around. But anything else, straight to the trash. Why? Because the sewers aren't built for it. Toilet paper breaks down super quick in water. It's designed that way, all soft and pulpy so it dissolves almost right away. But other stuff, it hangs around, sticks together, and creates nightmares. Take wet wipes, for example. These are one of the biggest culprits, and it's weird because so many packages say flushable right on them. But in NYC, don't believe it. Even those so-called flushable ones don't break apart like toilet paper. They might slide through your toilet fine, but down in the pipes, they bunch up, especially when they mix with other junk. I remember reading about this one case where a massive clog in Queens was pulled out, and it was mostly wipes tangled with hair and who knows what else. The DEP spends millions every year just dealing with this. Last I checked, it's around $19 million annually to clear out non-flushable stuff and haul it to landfills. And if your flush causes a backup, you could be on the hook for repairs, which run $10,000 to $15,000 for a single sewer line fix. Crazy, right? For businesses like cafes or gyms where people use wipes a lot, it's riskier. If inspectors trace a clog back to your spot, fines start at $250 and go up with repeats. To avoid it, just toss them in the bin. Wrap them up if they're gross, but keep them out of the toilet. Simple switch, but it saves everyone headaches. Next up, grease, fat, and oil, stuff from cooking that's sneaky because it's liquid when hot. You finish making bacon for breakfast and that pan's full of greasy runoff. Pour it down the sink? Big mistake. As it cools, it hardens and sticks to the pipe walls like glue. Over time, it builds up layers, narrowing the pipe until nothing flows. In NYC, this mixes with other trash to form what they call Fatbergs. These are disgusting blobs. Think of a giant, smelly mass the size of a bus, made of congealed fat, wipes, and who knows what else. There was the story back in 2019 where workers in the sewers found one so big it blocked an entire section under Manhattan. They had to break it apart with tools, and it cost the city thousands just for that one. Another time in 2018, Fatbergs caused 90% of all sewer backups citywide. That's wild. Almost every flood or overflow traced back to this grease problem. For home cooks, it's annoying, but for small business owners like food truck operators or diner folks, it's a killer. Restaurants have to install grease traps. These are basically filters that catch the oil before it hits the sewer. If you don't, or if you dump it wrong, DEP fines can hit $10,000 per incident. I've seen reports of spots getting shut down temporarily over this. How to handle it? Let the grease cool in the pan, wipe it out with paper towels into the trash, or pour it into a jar and toss that. If you're a business, get that trap checked regularly. It's not glamorous, but it keeps the cash in your pocket. Moving on to cleaning products, especially the strong ones labeled Danger Corrosive. These are things like drain cleaners with acids or heavy-duty bleaches. You might think pouring them down the sink is fine since they're made for pipes, but nope. In NYC, they're banned from drains because they eat away at the sewer materials over time. The pipes are old in a lot of buildings. Some date back to the 1800s, and these chemicals speed up corrosion, leading to leaks and collapses. One weird example, hydrofluoric acid, which is super strong and used in some industrial cleaners. If that gets in the system, it can damage treatment plants miles away. Violations here fall under unauthorized discharges, with fines from $250 for a first-timer up to $10,000 if it's a repeat or causes real harm. Businesses like auto shops or laundromats deal with this a lot. Instead, take them to DSNY safe disposal events. Those are free drop-offs around the city for hazardous stuff. Check online for dates. They're usually on weekends. It's a bit of a hassle, but better than a surprise inspection turning into a penalty. Fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides are another obscure one. If you're a renter with a little balcony garden or a property manager handling lawns, you might have leftovers. Pouring them down the drain? Huge no. These chemicals mess with the water treatment process, killing off good bacteria that clean the wastewater. Plus, they end up in rivers and hurt fish and birds. NYC's harbors are already fighting pollution, and this adds to it. There's this story from a few years ago where a bunch of excess fertilizer from a community garden got dumped, and it caused a small algae bloom in a nearby waterway. Not a full disaster, but enough to get fines involved, up to $37,500 per day for serious environmental violations under state law. Weird part is even natural ones can be problematic if they're concentrated. Dispose by using it all up first, or take to those same DSNY events. Buy small amounts so you don't have extras hanging around. Automotive products get weird too. Antifreeze, motor oil, transmission fluid, even old car batteries or tires. If you're a small business owner with a delivery van or just someone tinkering in a garage, don't dump this down any drain. It seeps into the ground or sewers and poisons the water supply. Antifreeze is sweet tasting, so animals drink it and get sick. I've heard of neighborhood cats dying from spills. In NYC, storm drains lead straight to rivers without treatment, so pouring there is like direct pollution. Fines start at $1,000 and go to $25,000 per day for oil spills under navigation laws. One example, a mechanic shop in Brooklyn got hit with $10,000 for letting oil run into a catch basin during a rain. To fix it, clean spills right away with absorbents and take used fluids to auto parts stores that recycle them for free. Batteries go to special drop-offs. Don't trash them. Mercury items, fluorescent bulbs, thermometers, break one and flush? No, mercury poisons water. Dispose at DSNY sites. Electronics, computers, phones, contain toxics. Manufacturers must recycle. Fines if they don't, but for you, just return them. Trash and litter. Obvious, but people dump in storm drains. It clogs and pollutes. Report via 311. Pet waste. Leave it on the ground? $250 fine. And rain washes it into drains, spreading bacteria. Other weird ones? Condoms, feminine products, paper towels. All form clogs. Don't flush goldfish or cat litter, even Flushable. It expands and blocks. Diapers, tampons, same issue. One story, a building had a backup from flushed diapers, costing thousands. Now for the peak of all this craziness, the Fatberg horror stories. Picture this, under the streets, a 200-foot-long mass of hardened grease, wipes, floss, and trash, weighing tons. In 2019, NYC crews battled one in Queens that caused flooding in dozens of homes. Workers in suits wade in, chipping away with picks. Smells awful. Takes days. During the pandemic, backups jumped 50% from extra wipes. In 2018, 50,000 tons of this junk removed. Weirdest? Finding odd stuff like guns or rats and clogs. One report mentioned a Fatberg with dental floss acting like ropes, tying it all together. Cost the city $18.8 million yearly, which hikes our water bills. Businesses pay the most if linked to it. So, wrapping it up, stick to the 4 Ps, trash the rest, use drop-offs for hazardous stuff. Know these rules and you'll dodge fines, floods, and fatbergs. It's all about small changes that keep the city running smooth. Subscribe for more on surviving NYC.